So honestly, I wasn't planning on making this video, but I told you guys what is going on with me on my Instagram stories, and every single day you guys are asking me like how I'm feeling, so I feel like it's appropriate for me to make this video because I know many people that are going through something similar, they feel alone, and I feel like it's important for me as an influencer to come on here and just like be open and honest about my health scare. And yeah, I just feel like I have to make this video, and you guys are just so worried, so I just feel like I have to make this. You guys are definitely like friends to me, so let's go ahead and start off with the beginning. So whenever I lived in Texas, I noticed that on this side I did my monthly examination, and I felt like a lump, but this lump was very different from the first lump that I had, because the first lump that I actually had a biopsy 5 years ago after I had my first daughter Evelyn, and they told me that it actually turned out to be a fibroadenoma. Hopefully I'm saying that right. So it's pretty much, benign, and it usually goes away on its own. And I will say it did go away after 2 years. And they also put a chip, so whenever I get mammograms in the future, they will know that it was a benign, I think it's like a hormone imbalance whenever you get like fibroadenomas, but it's, normal in young women. So I will say the fibroadenoma, at least in my experience, it would move around like freely, and it wasn't attached to any tissue. But on this side, it was actually attached to my tissue, and it was actually pretty big, and you could see it whenever like I laid down, so it's pretty apparent. And I knew like something was wrong in Texas, but we were in the middle of moving, so I had to wait to move to Florida before I got like my examination. But once we got back to Florida, I decided to go ahead and get my examination. But you guys, I had to wait weeks before I got it done, because honestly they're very low on doctors. So yeah, I had to wait just to get an examination. And once I had my appointment, I was very happy to go so I can find out what is going on, because I knew something was weird. So pretty much once they called me back for my appointment, they were asking like typical questions like, does cancer run in my family? And of course I was honest and told them that my aunt on my dad's side actually had breast cancer, and that is the reason why I'm concerned. And I told them about my other side, and I had a fibroadenoma. And they also asked me how long did I notice, this lump on this side, and it's been a couple of months. So she went ahead and told me to change out of my clothes and go ahead and lay down. She walked in, and then of course she went ahead and did the exam, and I told her it was this side that I felt, the lump, and she told me that she can see it without even touching it because it bulges out, if that makes sense. So she was feeling it, and she told me that it's actually pretty big, and she measured 2.5 centimeters big, and she said it's pretty big. So she was very concerned and told me that I need to see a radiologist like ASAP. So of course I made my appointment immediately, and they actually got me in the same week, which is seriously amazing. Like usually I have to wait almost a month. Like I haven't even seen my primary care doctor yet, you guys. That is next week, so I can't wait to see my primary care doctor too about like my anxiety and everything. So yeah, there is just a long wait period when it comes to seeing a doctor right now. But yeah, I was really happy that I was able to see a radiologist the same week. But actually, before I tell you guys what happened at the radiologist's office, I also have to mention that my OBGYN actually requested an ultrasound and mammogram. And once I went home, I did research on mammograms, and they said that you don't want to be overdiagnosed. So you know what, honestly I thought it was like the worst case scenario, and that is the reason why she wanted me to get a mammogram and ultrasound. But right when I went to my radiology appointment, the receptionist actually told me like, why did your OBGYN request a mammogram? Because I'm so young. So she actually talked to the radiologist, and the radiologist said yeah, she shouldn't get a mammogram because of her age. Like I'm only 26, and she said you just don't want to take that risk this young. So she told me just to go ahead and do the ultrasound, and I was very happy that they said that, because I did research like I said, and it just didn't seem like it was worth the risk to get a mammogram. If I didn't have to, I could just do like the ultrasound and the biopsy like I did on this side. So it was really nice that she caught that, and the radiologist said no to the mammogram. So moving on to the actual appointment. So once she called me back, she told me that I had to obviously change out of my clothes and change into that pink thing that I took a picture of on Instagram, if you guys follow me. And honestly, I'm not going to lie, it was very uncomfortable changing into that, because you literally are not wearing clothes, and you have to tie like the bottom and the top. But I also had to walk out of like the dressing area and then go to like the lobby. But many women were in there for breast cancer. Like this was actually a breast cancer clinic, so it was just like a really, I don't know, I just felt really emotional during this appointment, just seeing other women going through this. And it hit me hard in the lobby, just meeting all the other women. But it was really nice to talk to them. And the lobby was really cute. You know, they had like pink everywhere and coffee and everything. It was a really peaceful environment. Like they really try hard to make you feel at home when you go there for, you know, checkups and everything. So that kind of made me feel better. So I had to wait for about 10 minutes before they called me back. And then once they called me back, of course, you know, they did the ultrasound. So the ultrasound tech was asking me like a bunch of questions about my family history, like does cancer run in my family? And I was honest, like my aunt had breast cancer and passed from it. So yeah, she just asked like the basic questions whenever you get an ultrasound. And once she was done asking questions, she kept like, I guess taking measurements or something and just looking around the whole tumor. And she also went on my armpit area as well, which kind of felt tender. I will say like it does feel a little bit tender when you put pressure on it, which many people say it's usually painless when it comes to a Floyd's tumor. So I don't know. I mean, there's like a lot of different things on the internet, and that's why I don't like Googling anything. But yeah, I noticed on her face that she was concerned and she wasn't sure like what it really was, and she didn't want to say what it was without knowing, I guess. So she went to get the radiologist to see what she saw, and the radiologist came in and they asked the same questions as the ultrasound tech, like does my family have, you know, cancer and stuff like that. And once again, I was being honest, told them about my aunt, and the radiologist just took measurements, said it was 3 centimeters big. So if the OBGYN was correct about the 2.5 centimeters, that means it grew again within less than a week, which is crazy in my opinion. So the radiologist pretty much said they can't tell me exactly what it is without an actual biopsy, but they think it's actually a phylloids tumor just because of the way it looks. They said it's because it has dark circles and it doesn't look smooth, so that's why they think it's a phylloids tumor. But then I did research on a phylloids tumor. It's actually very rare to get this tumor, and it usually occurs in women over 40. So it was really just scary hearing that, and the radiologist said, don't worry, it's more than likely benign. So I went home thinking, you know, maybe I'm all right, you know, but I still had that, you know, negative thinking that it's possible it could be cancer. You never know, you know what I mean? Even when you're young, like I'm not supposed to have a Floyd's tumor in my 20s. Like it's very, very rare. So I went home just like emotional. But I almost forgot to mention that the radiologist told me that they're going to send everything over back to my OBGYN and do a follow-up with her so she can go over the results as well. So she actually called me the following week and she FaceTimed me this time and told me that she wants me to go to a breast surgeon ASAP, and she told me that I have to wait around for this phone call. And I forgot to ask her like how long is it going to take to receive this phone call, so I probably have to follow up again with my OBGYN to make sure that everything is happening correctly. I just feel like there is so much time you have to wait before you get things done, if that makes sense. Like it takes forever, you guys. Like they don't fix the problem immediately. You have to like get referred and everything. So it's a very long process, and that's why it's super, you know, stressful. I have anxiety to the moon. I'm just so worried. So pretty much on the FaceTime call, it just made me even more anxious because she was telling me that she strongly believes it's a tumor that won't stop growing. They're just not sure if it's a phylloids until they get a biopsy, but she told me like I need to see a breast surgeon immediately to look over my films from the ultrasound and just go over like the options. And she also mentioned that the shape is irregular, which is very concerning, and that also concerns me because whenever you look up irregular tumors, it's usually cancer. So I don't know, you guys, honestly I need to stop Googling. That's probably why I have anxiety, to be honest. But the OBGYN lady, she was actually like, I could see on the camera that she was tearing up, and I was also getting emotional as well because that's a lot to hear, you know, like you need to see a breast surgeon ASAP. Like the first thing that I think about is that, oh my gosh, it must be that serious that they want me to go to a breast surgeon for everything from here on out. Like the radiologist told me that I could do the biopsy at their clinic. So I'm thinking to myself that I will just go there for the biopsy and then I'll go to the breast surgeon afterwards. But no, I have to go to the breast surgeon like ASAP. So it's a little weird that I haven't gotten a call in 48 hours after that FaceTime conversation. So yeah, like the waiting game is seriously killing me right now. And like I said, I suffer from anxiety and I know how to cope with it, but after having this health scare and we just moved back to Florida, there's a lot of stress and the world is crazy, you guys. So it's just a lot to go through a health scare in this time, you know, and I'm just really grateful for you guys. You have been nothing but loving and supportive, and my husband and my girls have just been so sweet. Like, we try to do everything that makes us happy during this time. It's just really hard, but I know you guys care, and that's why I had to make this video, even though it does make me emotional and it's super hard to talk about. But for those of you that are going through like a health scare, just know that you're not alone, and feel free to talk about it in the comment section down below and just help each other out. I want you guys to feel safe on my channel to talk about things that you're going through, and hopefully this video actually helped you guys feel better about your situation. I know it's really hard in the moment, but sometimes all we can do is take care of ourselves, you know, self-care, self-love. And I plan on making videos about self-care. I'm trying to get better with self-care. I feel like I lost that once we moved back to Florida because it has seriously been crazy. So I think I'm going to take you guys along with me on my self-care journey and just building my self-esteem. And hopefully, if you guys are struggling with the same thing, that you can go on this journey with me. And I just really want you guys to feel good watching my videos, and I want to feel good making them. And yeah, I think it's finally time for a new chapter on here, and I hope that you guys enjoy the next videos, because I promise it's going to be about lifting each other up and lifting yourself up and just how to be positive in this crazy world that we live in. Anyways, I really hope that you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you guys want to see more videos like this, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up for me, and feel free to leave a comment about your struggles and how you deal with them. Like, any tips and tricks would be amazing. But I hope that you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in my next one.